that a lot of the biofuel producers in the country are in bad straits. Part of it's because of the fact that regular diesel has come down in price considerably in the last couple of years. And I'm pretty sure those multi-million-dollar facilities all had great business plans, but the business plans right now aren't worth much. So maybe I didn't have a business plan, but the one thing I didn't do is go in debt over my head to do this. And I would suggest that that's advice that would be well taken if you're going to have an enterprise. Maybe you have to go in debt, but be sure that you can cash flow it from whatever source you have to have as a complement to your venture. Be sure you can cash flow it. Another enterprise I took place in my life one time with some very, very good friends of mine and some partners of mine was we looked at getting into this enterprise and we said, can we cash flow it if it all goes to hell in a handbasket? And it was about 2 years later, and it did. But we were able to cash flow it because we knew we could, and we worked through it and got away with it. Those are some of the things that I've learned. The other thing I mentioned to you is if you're interested in doing some kind of project, it's probably going to take twice as much time as you think it's going to take. You also want to have a passion for what you do. But it's been rewarding, and I've enjoyed doing it. Okay, now I guess we'll just go through our facility real quickly. We call it Red Shed. If we ever get it branded for sure, we're going to probably call it Red Shed Biodiesel for some unknown reason. That's what the outside of it looks like. We've raised canola now for several years. The first year I raised it, it was a great crop and kind of set me up for the rest of it. But we wanted it for a rotation, and it has got some good attributes as a rotational crop. You just got to figure out which one to push.
Pull the trigger like a gun.
No, I thought pull the trigger.
That's go forward.
Okay, there we go. Thank you, Jenny. Okay, believe it or not, this is canola. It was seeded no-till, direct seed with a set of Great Plains drills. And there we go. That's the canola plant right there. Boy, they're really hard to see up here. This post, remember this post right here. Oh, I guess what's the next picture? And this is the same post right here. And now you can start to see the rows. This was seeded the latter part of August. This same post there now. This is probably in late September, maybe early October. This is the next year. That was fall canola that was planted. This is what it looks like the next year. That's the same post. This canola field is the tallest canola was about 7 feet tall. It was a lot of fun that year. This is what it looks like underneath. All those stalks are there. Great cover for wildlife. They just absolutely love it. Pheasants just live there. Predators can't get to them. They can get around under the stalks and everything. And we had some canola one year close to our house. I guess it was mustard, but it was just like a chicken farm when we harvested it. By the time you come to a corner, there was just birds flying everywhere. So in fact, actually across from the house, we had some deer that lived in it. So when it gets big, it's really beneficial to wildlife. This is when we cut it. You put the header as high as it'll go, put the reel as high as it'll go, and go slow. A crop like this 30 years ago would have been almost impossible to harvest. Okay, when we process our canola, now the grain growers has been really good to us, by the way. They let us store our crop in a grain elevator that's near our home, so we're able to store it in the field, and then in the winter, if we want to go get some seed to process, we just go down to the elevator and weigh it out. They come and meet us there, and they weigh it out, and we can take it up, and we run it through a seed cleaner. Goes in this hopper and then goes right through a seed cleaner, and we seed clean it for a couple of reasons. One is we're interested in quality, and we want to take out some of the foreign matter. We can't get it all out, but we want to get some of the foreign matter out so that the meal that we sell for livestock feed has as good a value as it can get. The other reason, any nuts and bolts or anything that fell out of your combine as you were harvesting it, you do not want those in your crushers. So we clean it. Seneca was very kind to us. They gave us a very good buy on a small seed cleaner that they had no longer use for, And I did a little work on it, and I make that a lot of work, and it serves our purpose for what we're doing. We've also, yes, there's a sidelight to that, but I won't go there. There it is, right there, by golly. We get the how's that, Jenny?
Good job.
Good job, thank you. We get the we run through the seed cleaner. There's a bin up above, right up there. Up there, it comes, gravity's down through the seed cleaner, and the clean seed comes in these bins. So we collect the clean seed in these bins. Okay, then when the time comes, the bin will sit right up there. This is an old, Seneca has, I shouldn't tell you this, Seneca has what they call their boneyard, and it's got all the stuff that they don't use anymore. And it's just like, I'm just like a kid in a candy shop when I go up there. It's fun. This is a stand that they discarded, and with a little welding and cutting and such, I was able to make it work for our crusher stands. And we take the canola and the canola seed, after we clean it, we set the bin up there. It tips up in this hopper, and our crushers aren't even on that at this point in time, I don't think. And the meal goes down in the bottom hopper, and I'll show you where the oil goes. I'm pulling the trigger. There we go. Okay, this is where what the meal looks like coming out of the crusher. Okay, this is the actual crusher right here, and you're just looking at the meal come out. It's going to fall down in the hopper, and it'll be ready for feed. The oil comes out at a different place. There's oil, and it doesn't come out fast. Pretty slow. It drops into a little channel, and then goes off for processing. This is what the meal looks like underneath the crushers. Okay, that's a bin full of meal that we sold for cattle feed, and it didn't work out too good. That particular meal didn't. They handled it really rough, and it's the meal that we create is actually a pelleted meal, but they treated it pretty rough, and the pellets broke down, so it didn't serve their purpose. But other than that, it was fine. I've got other people that use it.
Where'd you get that forklift?
Commercial for Seneca. There we go. Good to me. They're wonderful. We raised peas for them. I heard the word peas a few times tonight too, so I want you to know that we raised peas for Seneca for a while. Good part of your rotation. There's the oil coming out in the channel. Oh shoot. No, that's okay. Okay, once the oil comes out of the crusher is over there. The meal bin's down there. The crusher's there, and it comes through some pipes. It comes into some what I call settling barrels, and there's little particles in the oil as it comes out of the crusher because they're not perfect, and you have to get that's where the process starts to get a little challenging. And Merle Jackson helped me out with. He said it's got to have either more time or more distance. So we added more time because we didn't have any distance, and we run it through these settling drums. It goes through that black one. There's a black one there, there's a green one here, and a green one here. And it has a chance to, the way I've got it plumbed, it settles those particles out, and I have to clean those drums out periodically. But it settles most of the particles out so that it's ready to be processed into biodiesel. And then this is from the drums, from the last green drum, it comes into these totes, and it sits in here probably for 2 weeks at least before we pump it into our storage tank, and we pump off the top so that almost all of the settlement is settled out before we pump it into our storage. And as we pump it into storage, we pump it through a 5-micron filter, so it's pretty pure stuff when we've got it in storage. Oh, that's my laboratory. I don't know what that's doing in there. We have a kind of a laboratory we built too. Okay, this is some of the equipment. This over here is the storage bin, or the storage tank after we run it through the settling tanks. There's a line right down through here, and this is a line when we're ready to process. We put it in this tank. This is a big tank, and this is the heater here, and we run the amount that we want into this tank. We heat that oil up to prepare for processing.